having a pretty productive day. We've gotten a lot done today, wouldn't you say?
Sort of. A lot of that stuff's just little stuff.
That takes 5 minutes a piece, but we gotten more stuff done today than we normally would have got done in a weekend.
Yeah, so far.
Look at our fancy whiteboard we hung up about 5 minutes ago. Our next job is going to be a real fun one. It's time to grease the fifth wheel. We'd love to have a poly plate on here and never have to mess with greasing again, but we ain't that lucky and they ain't cheap. So we got this old tube of grease, which who knows, it may be older than me, we're not sure. Grease is grease, right? I can feel the grease moving around in the tube like it's a log. Well, things did not go to plan. That truck in the barn was supposed to come back with a trailer hooked to it. But I guess the trailer fell off going down the road because it don't have a trailer no more. Or maybe it's because the fifth wheel won't lock onto the kingpin on the trailer. It could be that option too. But we have to go to church because it's Sunday morning, so we better go to church.
Or you may not be able to see anything. So we may end up having to put it on the back as looking back.
So while we're getting ready for harvest, I figured we'd talk about grain fill. So most of you know, if you hear farmers talking about grain fill, it's talking about how big the ear of corn gets. So right here I have an 18 around by 34 tall ear. That means 18 kernels around and 34 kernels tall. Here it's the same dimensions, 18 around by 34 tall. Can you see the size comparison here to the ears? This is what you call grain fill. How big does the kernel really get on the ear? You have big kernels on this ear and you have small kernels on this ear. It's almost like this. If you have two cows, one gets really fat and meaty and the other one stays skinny and doesn't produce much, and then you get no steak. It is the same thing, ears of corn. One may stay skinny and one may get fat and produce a lot. But this is where your yield comes into play. This ear will average a lot higher yield per bushel than what this ear will, due to grain fill. You can look at the ears and tell which one is which and how much bigger the well, there went half of that ear. You can tell by looking at the kernels how much bigger the kernels on the one ear are than the other. And that is something that we hope our pivot bio will help us do, that we used this year, was put on a bigger ear and bigger grain fill. But that is the risk you take as being farmers, because you just don't know till you try it. You take the financial risk. New day, new project, right? And look what has made it home. It took long enough, but we finally got her home. We got our fifth wheel working. We just had to hit it with a hammer a couple times, and it straightened up. It did what it was supposed to do.
I'm gonna show them my cool trick.
What's your cool trick?
Well, I'm tired of fooling with it. Look, we've been wiring up this grain cart. We had a light here that the wires were broke. And then we have a light. It has 2 tail lights. And we've got a light on the back that's pretty nice for at night. But if you notice, our flashers are working, and that works. And we pretty much rewired this whole grain cart yesterday. But now, cool feature is when you plug up the grain cart and turn the flashers on, the rear fender lights flash too. I don't know how I did it, and I don't know how to fix it because I've rewired everything and grounded everything. But as soon as you unplug her, she stopped. They stopped, but I don't know how to fix it.
But back to the trailer, we have a couple welds that need to be put onto the frame, just some cracks where it's old and worn out. So we're gonna do that now. And there you go. The trailer has been welded on, just fixing some plates that had bubbled out, reinforcing them. Don't look at all the dirt on my face. And then tires have air in them, and it's been greased. And that should be everything the trailer needs. It's another day. This video has consisted over 4 days, I think. But it's just that time of the year. We start harvesting a couple days now, and we're doing the final touches. We're having like days where we stand outside on the back porch for 20 minutes and talk about how we're gonna harvest our fields. Ain't that right?
Yes, we've got a plan.
We got a plan, we're prepared.
We've got a plan. It doesn't mean that that's what the plan's gonna be.
Are we prepared? Are we more prepared to do it, or is our equipment more prepared to do it?
I don't know. You gotta ask the one that makes the plans if our plan matches his.
No, it may not. But so far we have a plan on how we're going to start corn harvest and how we're going to start beans and which one we're doing first, and the whole 9 yards that you guys will see coming up.
And we got our yield monitor to recognize stuff, which I think Emerson's going to go over that probably tomorrow or before we start harvest.
It'll be the first harvest video.
So that means we're going to get to
calibrate yield monitors.
Yeah, and we don't have scales on this grain cart, so we get to use 3 pieces of equipment to do
one job.
Yeah, one job.
Sorry for the lack of entertainment in this video, but part of farming is getting equipment ready for the year, and we're at that point. We don't have any major jobs, but we have a lot of small stuff. Like right now, he's running power cable to our new cameras we got to put on the grain cart and the combine, and we are checking air pressures in the semi tires and greasing the semi or cleaning up the cab on the tractor. I mean, it's just a bunch of little stuff that makes a difference. Part of the YouTube channel is showing our day-to-day farm life, and this is day-to-day life right here. There is something that I'm gonna work on tonight because it's already dark outside, as you can see, and it's only like 7:30, which makes me sad because that's just sad in general. See my ripper over there? You guys remember it, right? It took a beating when we used it this spring. Sheared boats left and right, spent $150 on new shear boats from H&R, so that added up real fast. But we're gonna be pulling it with our Magnum this year, so that means we can put the 2 shanks back on there and run a 7-shank ripper. Because if you remember right, when they sheared, we didn't have any on hand, so we stuck all thread in there. And that all thread is making like an S in the shear boat hole. Well, that's going to be the end of the video. Thank you guys for watching. You know what you're supposed to tell them at the end of the video?
Subscribe.
And
like it.
And also share if you're in the mood.
Yeah.
But thank you guys for watching. Hope that you enjoy, and we will see you in the next video. Make sure you stay tuned, because are we going to be harvesting in the next video?
I don't know. We keep finding stuff wrong, so.
Who knows? But we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Remember, faith, family, farming. See you in the next one.